But Alice, Timestalker, it's your new feature film. I'm hoping it was an easier filming experience than Prevenge, on the account that, you didn't have a small person growing inside of you.
I did have two small people outside of me that were my dependents, though. So by that stage, I had two kids, which actually is harder than filming while pregnant, I would say, for me, because I had a lot to do. I also sprained my ankle really badly on the first day, which was, yeah, it was embarrassing because I'd sort of said, I'm going to run across that heather and fall over. So don't help me because it will ruin the shot. And then I did genuinely sprain my ankle quite badly, and no one came to help me. And it's in the film. And I mean, then we cut, and you see this little hand come out of the heather, like, going, help me. Anyway, so yeah, I injured myself a little bit, although this did not affect my insurance, just in case anyone's watching, that might be insuring me for the next film. So I did. There was quite a few events like that where I was like, wow, this is like the film, where someone's sort of dying over and over again. I was like, I could actually die, and that would make quite a good story.
There was
Just
a
use
part in
it.
every film I made. I think we could now finish it if I don't. So if you're like 5 or 6 days out from the end, we can finish this. We got another shot.
I had that on Garden Reggie where they did like this fake explosion, and I thought I was going to die. And I was like, well, I've finished the series. That would have been like the only thing I'd ever have done.
Yeah.
It would be like,
What an amazing career.
quite, yeah.
Fair enough. And a big part of acting, is kind of getting to play dress up, and Time Stalker has so many fantastic costumes covering so many different periods. What was everybody's favorite era to dress up in?
Okay, I'm going to go first. 1940s magician
Oh,
and knife thrower. That was my favorite. Everything about it, I loved. I loved the wig. Yeah, it was a wig. I just loved it. I would wear that at home.
Brilliant.
oh my
I
God.
go for the 80s for me. Alex Phoenix.
Yeah.
80s pop, go for it. Lovely.
I'm the same. I mean, 80s is like my spiritual home. I just feel so happy when I'm in the 80s. And that and the toss up with the big wig and the big dress.
I quite liked you when you come out of the salon.
Oh, really? What with all the curtains?
Running down the street.
With the... Is that your fetish? That's your thing.
That's not my
I
thing.
love women that have just come out of hairdresser and still wearing the robe.
Everyone's allowed to have their thing. That's mine. Okay?
What smelling of perm solution?
Just old.
Just like an old lady that's had a perm.
Old lady.
Okay, I'll remember that. That's good to know.
I mean, there is no kink shaming here. It's fine. And then Ira, speaking of, the 80s, you say you play this sort of new romantic 80s as pop star, you get to sing a song. Were there anybody, from that era that you kind of look to for inspiration, or, maybe Alice pointing in the direction of, because, it feels very much like you're channeling your inner Adamant.
Yeah, there was a bit of like a mixture of different people, really. Like Bowie, and I would say like Prince, and yeah, Adamant. There was a mixture of like, even like Kate Bush. There was just all this kind of cocktail of those kind of amazing artists in that time that I wanted to kind of bring out in him, and even like this arsehole like rock star attitude as well. Just, to look at might seem quite fun, but then you get to meet them and they're just dicks. And it's great.
There was a funny time in the early 80s where sort of punk was over,
Yeah.
and they were looking for the new big thing, and it just meant there was some quite weird acts that came out. There was like Leo Sayer,
Yeah.
people like that sort of like young people
rejected
don't know.
Sayer.
Yeah, they had rejected him, hadn't they?
Yeah.
That's why he dressed as a Pierrot on a lot of his album covers. But he was like massive for like 2 years. So there are those figures that you can kind of dig up and kind of go, who was that? They were selling out like venues in America.
Demis Roussos.
Yeah, oh, I love Demis Roussos. Yeah, but he's interesting. You know, he's a
Mhm.
weird sort of figure and fascinating and
Le
quite
Mans.
eccentric. Yeah, what never-ending story
Yeah.
guy. Did you see that bit where he introduced himself to someone on a reality show as Lamar from the 80s?
Oh, wow.
You
That's
went like Lamar from the 80s.
off of the 80s.
As if he didn't exist outside that time. It's all things like that that inform Timestalker. Yes, love that.
And Nick, while I have you, I just have to quickly mention, Crazy House, which is going to close this year's, Celluloid Screams. Do you think that Sheffield is ready for the insanity that this film is?
I don't think I don't think anywhere is ready for Crazy House, really. I think it's a film that shouldn't have been made. Look, I think it's friggin' amazing, and I think people are either gonna absolutely love it, or they're gonna probably go and have an early dinner and take the first train back. I think it's really it's what's that word? Divisive. I think it's very divisive, but if you stick with it, it's just gets fucking weirder and weirder, and I'm kind of proud of the wins.
It gets very weird in the way that it gets kind of mirroring Time Stalker in the way, it sort of goes on, it kind of gets crazier and crazier, which I think is, quite interesting.
Yes, the answer is complete.
Yes. And Time Stalker, it's released into UK cinemas on, Friday the 11th of October. Why do you each hope that audiences go out and support this film?
I just think there is nothing better than sitting in a full cinema with other people laughing. And we do comedy so well in this country, and we don't make enough comedy films. And just like if you're looking for that reason to be in a room with other people watching something, it's to hear people laugh. And it's just so good for you. And there's a lot of laughs in this film, but it's also beautiful, and it's a good date movie. You might score after a date watching this film. Maybe with someone that you're stalking, you could like.
We're going to put that quote. That quote's going to go on the poster. You may score after watching this film.
90% chance of scoring.
4 boobs, Empire magazine.
I think also it's like this film has definitely got this translated in the script when I read it. It's definitely got like that early 90s feel of like British cinema, which is just I feel like we've lost somehow, and that is great for young audiences now to have like a vision of that in a modern movie now. There's something about it that just feels that's right, like lost in time. Didn't mean to do a pun, but it came out like that.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's not going to be like anything else anyone's seeing out there. It's just not like anything else. It's sort of defies explanation in some ways. But if you're sort of up for just saying something that is funny and entertaining, you can enjoy it without guilt.
Yeah.
Just don't. It's not like going to see a study movie. Some movies feel like homework, don't they?
Yeah.
Like you've got to go and like. I was really inspired by things like Back to the Future and like these high concept comedies that we used to have in the 80s and the 90s as well, where you just go, it's a fun idea. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to have a good time.
It's a movie.
It's a movie. Get some popcorn.
That's
watch
enough.
it like a movie.
It's enough for it to be that, I think.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you all so much for your time, and best of luck with Time Stalker, Nick with Crazy House, and Alice. Next time, there's little people going to be a little bit older that can help you.
I'm going to employ them. They're going to be like couple loaders and lighting people.
Props. Maybe not props. Maybe not props.
I'll use them.
Well, thank you all so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.